Dette er verdens heldigste mennesker.
These are the luckiest people in the world. Some people really are favored by fortune. If you've achieved your dream of owning a shiny new sports car, the last thing you want is for a truck to crash into it. Thankfully, this guy was around at just the right time. It's really not easy working in a kitchen. Accidents are bound to happen, but they become tragedies if people. The last thing you need when you're working out is for your equipment to break. Have you been in the wrong position at the wrong time?
Ja, jeg kommer til at svinge mig som en abe.
But in this case, the timing was just right. Even the simplest technology is out to get us. This garage door didn't want to go down, so the worker tried to force it. And let's just say things didn't exactly go to plan. That was close, but not close enough. It's easy for things to go wrong when you're scared. What's not easy is walking away from your mistake looking as cool as this person did. Sure, he plowed straight into the snowbound, but then there was the front roll and the march through to seal the deal. It seems as if there are two ways to win a game of Jenga. You either play carefully so you don't make any mistakes, or you use this guy's method. It's very impressive, but it shouldn't have worked. I have no idea what job it is they have, but one thing I do know is that the guy in the front is in the wrong profession.
Jeg mener, man skal da mærkelige ting,
dip in the lake, but
opuslige ting.
Impossible save and actually came out of it looking cooler than he did to start off with. We all know the iconic bullet dodging scene from The Matrix, but that's just fiction, right? It couldn't happen in real life. Well, I believed that until I saw this happen. That was close. Balls could split in half? Me neither. But despite his misfortune, he still managed to get his strike in the end. There's a fine line between great stunts and horrible accidents. This snowboarder found that out the hard way. I'm not sure whether to call that the trick of the century or the world's luckiest landing. This rapper was lucky enough to be on a stage when this magical moment happened to him. At least he had the option to keep his hat the second time round. This may be the only time anyone ever dropped something and felt happy about it. That could have been the end for that phone, but instead, it was given a second chance in the luckiest way possible.
There's not
much you can do when you've got a broken arm. Just one well-placed ball whizzing off to the table, done for. Or you could just pull off an amazing trick shot like this. We all know that to avoid being eaten by an animal, sometimes it's best to stay still and calm. And other times, you should run.
Sådan bare kilder på løgn.
You really need it. Scraping ice off a side would be a very dangerous job. But that's because you don't live in Russia. Things seem to function differently over there, and this is the perfect example of that. Some people take their jobs more seriously than others. Anyone else would have dropped this box on the floor and left it there. Not this woman. She's better. She has the skills to back up her dedication. Sometimes Mother Nature lets us know things in ways we could have never imagined. Just make sure you pay attention to the first warning, because the second usually isn't as kind. These Chinese bridges are designed to turn down people that
It's fucked, man. Det kommer jeg aldrig til at gøre.
Well,
Jeg har
yes,
mistillid
until
til
the
de
safety
der.
cord slips off the harness. This guy had a seriously lucky escape. When you hear the phrase perfect timing, this isn't usually what you picture, but you can't deny that's exactly what you got. How do you check if it's safe to ski on a frozen river? I don't have an answer, but I do know this isn't the way. At least they made it. I just don't know how. Any normal person would be mopping up the floor if this were to happen to them. Luckily for her, her rapid reflexes kicked in at just the right time to avoid that from happening. It doesn't matter how many times you practice something, it's bound to go wrong eventually. But you better hope that when that time comes, you have as much luck as this guy. Not even the movies have happy endings like that. It must be exhilarating to stand at the top of a snow-covered mountain. It must be even more exciting when you almost create your own personal avalanche to well, terrifying first. Then exciting when you realize here's a kid discovering he has a unique talent. I don't know what else to call it. Nobody else can pull off a shot like that, but he doesn't just do it once. He pulls it off again with the very next ball. He seems just as shocked as everyone else. This guy was happy about his baseball skills and decided to end his batting with a flourish, but his full potential was revealed by mistake when the bat amazingly came to a standstill on its head. Then again, maybe it was just a fluke. Ever walked through a store without knowing what you need? I guess the decision was made a little easier for this guy. For the record, I don't know why there were live fish in the supermarket in the first place.
Hvorfor er der levende fisk?
Getting the ball between your opponent's legs in football is one thing. Getting it between four is impossible. I guess it was impossible. Not anymore. You could say
Amatør!
unlucky
Kunne aldrig ske
lost
for
his
mig.
balance in front of a huge huge crowd at the X Games. He probably never makes mistakes like that when he's alone, but he turned his luck on its head by pulling off this amazing recovery. It always pays to be aware of your surroundings. If this man was watching the game, he'd have noticed the ball racing toward him. Even without that, he should have at least spotted the crowd of people around him ducking for cover. That was close. This guy definitely didn't think he could save those crates, and he sure didn't know he could do it in style. Unfortunately, I doubt he could do it again. This man was struggling, so his friend threw him a safety rope. Neither of them had any idea that the rope was about to become a vital lifeline.
His climb is fine.
Oh, dude.
Nee, derfor skal jeg ikke gøre sådan noget.
This guy was trying to show off a trick shot that would have been pretty impressive if he'd got it right on his own.
Så kommer der for mig for sådan noget bondage, jeg skal bare spændes helt
Most
op.
people need incredible skills to make that 1 in a million shot, but that's not always true. This kid clearly wasn't aiming well. He misses the goal by a mile, but he was accidentally right on target for a much more difficult shot. He couldn't have done it if he tried. I'm not too sure who the lucky one is here. The guy who wiped out on his board, or the girls he nearly crashed his board into. What even were the chances of their steps lining up so perfectly like that? Nearly everyone's bucket list features some kind of wildlife encounter. Be careful what you wish for. This man didn't know when he suddenly found himself very nearly inside the mouth of a great white. This is a very specific type of luck because it's amazing, but it isn't actually lucky. Luck would have meant they got the points, but getting the points wouldn't have been as amazing as what happened here. I don't know what happened to cause this disaster, but I'm glad I'm not the person who has to clean up the mess. Sometimes you do things greater than yourself.
Jeg taber ting
He couldn't have done this if he tried, but it still happened. Of course, some accidents are worse than others, like this man who lost a ski while in midair. That's definitely not the ideal moment for that to happen. But against all odds, he managed to turn his misfortune into an incredible stunt. When things were about to take a turn for the worse, he acted quickly to make sure that didn't happen. I don't know what's more impressive, his speed or his strength. Some pastimes have a little more stake than others, but the people who enjoy dangerous sports also enjoy a tricky stunt or two. And that's great, because we get to witness moments like this. If bottle flipping became a sport, this guy would be the first one to win a medal. I don't know you, but I can't catch a person coming from behind. But that's only the first step. The more I watch it, the more impossible it looks. This kid was certain he'd totally missed his shot. Let's face it, that throw was way off target, but the ball had other ideas. It bounced perfectly off the rails and straight into the basket. Journalists are always putting themselves into risky situations, but none of them are like this woman. I guess she assumes she's pretty safe since she's live on the air, but not this time. I'll bet she had no idea how close that helicopter was when she took a little step to the side. This singer's crowd walking could have made him look like a laughingstock if this rogue cup of beer had landed full in the face, which you can bet was instead everything came together so perfectly for him that he ended up looking more cool and in control than he was to begin with. It's not every day a house falls on top of a car while you're walking past, but he didn't mind. He stopped for a moment just to make sure he wasn't caught in the crossfire, then he just kept on walking without giving it a second thought. His life must be so easy.
Nå boys, tak fordi I så med.